Have you ever wondered about the story behind the device you're probably holding right now? It's a tale of rebellion, genius, failure, and one of the most epic comebacks in business history. This is the story of Steve Jobs and Apple. Our story begins not in a sleek boardroom, but in a garage in Los Altos, California. The year is 1976. A young, rebellious Steve Jobs, with his long hair and barefoot walks, was a product of the counterculture movement. He had dropped out of college, traveled to India seeking spiritual enlightenment, and returned with a vision. He wasn't your typical tech nerd. He was a visionary who saw technology not just as a tool, but as a way to empower individuals and change the world. Alongside his brilliant friend, Steve Wozniak, a true engineering wizard, they started Apple. Wozniak was the technical genius who could build amazing things, while Jobs had the uncanny ability to know what people wanted before they did. Their first creation, the Apple Wine, was basically a circuit board, but it was a start. It was the seed from which a mighty tree would grow. They sold Jobs' VW van and Woz's prized calculator to fund their dream. The Apple II followed, and it was a revolution. It was one of the first personal computers designed for a mass market, complete with a keyboard and a color screen, all housed in a friendly-looking plastic case. It was a massive success and put Apple on the map. Suddenly, personal computing wasn't just for hobbyists in basements. It was for homes, schools, and offices. Apple went public in 1980, and overnight, Jobs and his team became incredibly wealthy. They were the rock stars of Silicon Valley. But with great success came great pressure. In 1983, Jobs, with his legendary charisma, lured Pepsi executive John Sculley to become Apple's CEO with a now famous question. Do you want to sell sugared water for the rest of your life? Or do you want to come with me and change the world? A year later, in 1984, Apple launched the Macintosh. The launch was announced with a groundbreaking Super Bowl commercial directed by Ridley Scott that promised to shatter the status quo. The Macintosh introduced the world to the graphical user interface, windows, icons, a mouse. It was incredibly intuitive. It was the computer for the rest of us. It was beautiful, simple, and it set the standard for personal computing for decades to come. Despite its brilliance, the Macintosh's high price and limited software led to disappointing sales. Tensions flared between the visionary Jobs and the more conventional CEO, Sculley. Jobs' famously intense and demanding management style created friction within the company he co-founded. The conflict reached a breaking point. In 1985, following a boardroom power struggle, Steve Jobs, the heart and soul of Apple, was unceremoniously fired from his own company. Imagine that, being kicked out of the very thing you poured your life into. It was a humiliating public failure. Jobs would later call it devastating, but also the best thing that could have ever happened to him. It forced him to start over. It rekindled his creative fire. During his years in the wilderness, Jobs didn't just sit around. He founded Next, a company that built high-end computers for the education market. The Next machines were technological marvels, though not commercially successful. But the software they developed was years ahead of its time. He also acquired a small computer graphics division from Lucasfilm and turned it into Pixar Animation Studios. You might have heard of it. Their first feature film, Toy Story, changed animation forever and became a global phenomenon. Meanwhile, back at Apple, things were not going well. Without Jobs' vision, the company had lost its way. It was churning out a confusing array of products, market share was plummeting, and by 1997, Apple was on the brink of bankruptcy. It was just months away from financial collapse. In a move of sheer desperation, Apple decided to buy Jobs' company, Next, primarily for its advanced operating system. And with that purchase, the king returned. Steve Jobs was back at Apple, initially as an interim CEO, or ICEO as he called it. His comeback was swift and ruthless. He slashed the product line from dozens of confusing models down to just 4. He forged an unlikely alliance with rival Microsoft to secure a crucial investment. He refocused the company on its core mission, building insanely great products. He started with the iMac in 1998. It was a stunning, all-in-one computer that came in a range of vibrant, translucent colors. It shouted, "I'm not a boring beige box." It was fun, easy to use, and brought the internet to the masses. The I in iMac stood for Internet, individual, instruct, inform, and inspire. The iMac was a smash hit. It saved Apple. But Jobs was just getting started. He knew the future wasn't just about computers. It was about digital lifestyle. In 2001, he introduced the iPod. It wasn't the first digital music player, but it was the first one that was beautiful and easy to use. 1,000 songs in your pocket. It was a simple, powerful promise. Paired with the iTunes Store, it completely revolutionized the music industry. Then came the pinnacle of his career. In 2007, Jobs walked onto a stage and prepared to introduce 3 revolutionary products. A widescreen iPod with touch controls, a revolutionary mobile phone, and a breakthrough internet communications device. The crowd went wild. Then came the twist. Are you getting it? These are not 3 separate devices. This is one device, and we are calling it iPhone. The iPhone changed everything. It wasn't just a phone, it was a powerful computer that fit in your hand. It redefined the mobile phone and ushered in the era of the smartphone and the app economy. It changed how we communicate, work, play, and live our lives. From the App Store to the iPad, Apple, under Jobs' leadership, continued to innovate, creating a seamless ecosystem of products that just worked beautifully. Steve Jobs' story is a testament to the power of vision, resilience, and an uncompromising passion for excellence. He was a complex figure, known for his fiery temper as much as his genius. But his legacy is undeniable. He proved that a small group of rebels in a garage could indeed change the world. He taught us to think different. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through one of tech's most incredible stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more. See you in the next video.